My overall conclusion or sort of headline message about online interactive spaces is that they look expensive to the outsider because most of the effort that needs to be put into an online community is about reducing the risk that there won't be engagement in that space. And so that requires intelligence, and it requires time, and it requires persistence. The holy grail of a community which is self-sustaining, I think, is unreachable for most online communities. And so there is an advocacy agenda about around communicating the value that this ostensibly expensive input is going to generate. And in our experience with these e-discussions, what we found is that they have been expensive on paper, but they have yielded enormous value to both the participants and the project that they've been involved with. And it is, particularly around discussions, a question of reducing the risk. And the better level of preparation in the 4 to 6 weeks leading up to a discussion is, in my view, the number one lesson to be learned about managing successful events, not what you actually do during the event itself.
Okay, great. And I think maybe one thing that I would pick up on as a concluding thing from what you've noted is that preparation, that need to, the stewardship that's required in order to keep these things dynamic and happening. I think there's an assumption that many people make when they're starting these communities and launching them, is that and I say this a lot, is they believe if you build it, people will just come and they will stay. And it's simply not true.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be, some real thought into how do you make this experience valueful or meaningful for those who are taking part in it, and as much of that goes in advance in developing a strategy around the network, rather than simply allowing people to show up and saying, well, what are we going to do with them now? Is really thinking through what are the incentives for the type of audience that we have. I mean, different audiences are going to have different incentives for taking part, and understanding those and talking to audiences before you get started to understand what are the things that we can do to make this as meaningful and as valuable an experience as we can is an essential first step in really making these communities vibrant and important for their users.